Hi, everyone, and welcome to Bits of Wisdom. Today, I chose a pretty juicy topic. It's about guilt and shame, and also regrets and mistakes, and how to overcome each one of those. Why do I call the topic juicy? I think because of all the taboos of hiding and distorting each one, and minimizing and rationalizing guilt and shame so it is acceptable to an outside world. However, it is a very heavy load that sits inside of us and drowns us further and further away from our dreams and aspirations and goals. So I think it's important to talk about it, bring it up, and allow ourselves to learn how to overcome the obstacles of guilt and shame. And I have an utmost compassion towards this subject because I had felt each one of these and dragged them with me everywhere for a very long time until I had a wake up call. Something just needed to change. And I think we seek changes for two reasons. It's either a desperation or inspiration. And mine was definitely desperation at first, and then turned into inspiration. And now it just keeps going and going, and it's now giving. So let me give you a short example of how this might happen. Did you ever stop at McDonald's and order a bunch of food and ate it to the point where you had to unbutton your pants? Well, then you drove home and you told your family that you're too tired from work and you can't cook dinners, you just kind of laid down and did nothing. Well, it made you feel really ill physically because you just ate a bunch of useless food. But on the inside, you feel guilty. You feel like a bad person because now you have this little secret and you're hiding it. And then you feel guilty because then you covered it with a lie and you are a bad mom or bad wife and you're not up to par on your family duties. Here's a few more examples that we all might um, run through our head and feel guilty sometimes about forgetting a family birthday or feeling guilty just simply not calling them enough, um, not going to the gym, not taking your own advice, laying around and staying in your pajamas all day and doing absolutely nothing. Um, or you bought a new juicer and it's still sitting in the box, has never been used. Started a book and just never have time to finish it. Um, Giving in into a craving or a pleasure, or on a more serious note, causing harm or emotional damage to someone who is close to you. So let's go ahead and analyze between what is the difference between shame and guilt. We'll start with guilt. Guilt is an activity or a behavior that you now are remorseful about. You regretting that you did that, and you wish you have handled the situation somehow differently. Living guilty causes us to struggle more. It drains us emotionally and physically. We can't pursue our dreams because we don't believe in ourselves and we don't believe that we can overcome the challenges. Oh, and the enemy and the haters will sit there by your side and know that guilt will keep you from your destiny and enjoy the show because you're sitting there and working against yourself so hard, and then you're feeling unworthy and feeling like a loser. So, now about shame. Shame is much deeper because it lands on the identity level, and now you believe that you are a bad person, and especially if it's been discovered by someone else. Shame causes destructive behavior. Shame corrodes that part of us that believes that we can change. It causes destructive behaviors such as addictions, violence, isolation, self punishment. So, shaming somebody into a change is like saying you're horrible and worthless piece of garbage and you need to get better, is not effective. So, how do we overcome these feelings of guilt and shame? And how do we stop overthinking, regretting all of our mistakes? Well, there are four things that I will outline that I found that are effective. Number one, flood yourself with good, with positive, with beautiful. You have to overwhelm that shame with good, that you um, have positive attributes, and with all the good that you have done in your life. Go ahead and ask yourself those questions. What am I proud of in my life? What is it that I'm grateful for? And what are my best attributes? Think about three or five people or places or experiences. Do that emotional flood of all the beautiful, proud things in your life. Imagine those scenes, visualize and feel those positive experiences. And then make it your daily practice as affirmations and gratitude each morning and evening. And these will become your positive self reflections and your personal inventory. Number two, make amends. Go ahead and do better. Acknowledge that you have caused bad or harm or danger. You know exactly why another person is acting the way they do. You know exactly what you said or you didn't say. Just be transparent and real. Overcome that wall. Humble yourself and ask for forgiveness. But do forgive yourself first and then ask for forgiveness from other people. And you can also do a small act of kindness to show your empathy and how you made someone feel and that you are genuinely sorry for your mistakes. Now, not everybody is ready to receive apologies. I say it's none of your business. You did your part and opened up to create that healing space. Number three, build shame resilience. Now, this one is for building yourself for the future, gathering up those tools and strong foundation on how to recognize and handle the triggers and to figure out how to deal with them on a spot. It's like training your brain muscles, so to speak. So, a perfect example would be going off on somebody at work because you are already having a stressful day and that someone said or did your biggest trigger and the bomb went off. Now you go home angry, still replaying the whole scene in your head, now feeling embarrassed and going through should have, would have scenarios. Then guilt comes followed by a friend named shame, and you're now a bad person inside. Next day, you have to be in a form of either arrogant to march past that person or all shriveled up and invisible so you're not being seen by anyone. Again, just be genuine and speak. Tell people that you're overwhelmed and stressed. Allow them to help. Set your boundaries and only take as much as you can handle at work or at home. And be nice to yourself. You are already a good person. So when you naturally express yourself, people approach you differently in a more positive way. Number 4, don't judge your past. And here's about regrets. Waking up to should have, would have, or could have. And there is such a big spectrum of what might be spinning in your head. We're all different. So, what might seem not very important to you could be a life changer for me. So, it could be about career choices or relationship status, clothing choices, conversations that have occurred, distractive acts or behaviors. Now, there's nothing that you can rebuild in the past. It's impossible. And you are the only person who is holding on to those thoughts. Therefore, you are the only one who can let go of them. And people that are surrounding you will follow. People notice changes, they admire growth, and they admire and see that reach for impossible. And no matter how did you bad in the past. And that new growth, it grabs an unbelievable amount of miracles, new places, new things, new thoughts that you never even dreamed of that you deserve or even possible. So stop living in disbelief. Don't say, I can't believe I did this. I can't believe I ate that. I can't believe I behaved that way. Instead, just say shit happens and I'm going to respond different to it next time. I know I overthink things and I'm stressed. I am responsible for that and I accept that and I have to change things. So, my favorite saying is everything happens for a reason. And our reasons are to learn from our mistakes. Lessons learned have happened for us, not for judging our past. So, I have a question. If you could go back in time, would you change it? Think about it. I know a lot of people are saying yes because it's natural. But then I have another question to follow that. Can I go ahead and take all these lessons away from you that you have learned from your mistakes? And the answer is no. You have gotten to today by gaining wisdoms from those mistakes. And that is something to hold on to really tight. So, what is your narrative? What are you saying to yourself today? Be positive. Talk nice to yourself. Be nice. Stop being a bully to yourself. Now, sometimes it is easier to self punish and self sabotage because it is a familiar feeling that we've had for a long time. Stop it though. Stop carrying that heavy burden. And a golden key to maybe push you to a change is to understand that that burden only exists in the places where you care. I like visuals. They help me understand concepts and find ways to have a check and balance system. It kind of puts things in places that I can understand and follow. So, gathered everything up that I just talked about. Here is my visual interpretation, my simplified way of understanding of all this. Maybe it will help you, maybe it will not, but I will go ahead and give it. It's actually a story time. Um, at one time, I had a big pile of good, bad, and ugly in front of me, sitting and completely overwhelmed and in some deep hole, confused, conflicted, and scared. Guilt, shame, regrets, and very big fears are all really heavy on the inside. So, day by day, I worked overtime to separate and organize those piles. I've learned how to separate good, bad, and ugly into two containers. um, they started out being just containers. Today, they are transparent and they have no lids. One is named shit, and the second one is gold. I take these containers everywhere. People see them, but most important, I know I always have both. And equally important to me, they're both open so I can continue to add to them. I know if I only bring a container named gold, my ego is too awake. If I only decide to show gold to people, I want praise, I want attention, and I'm trying to draw people to me. I also know if I only bring the container named shit, I can't hold my chin up. I am unsure, indecisive, and I feel very little. If I only show the shit container to people, I am looking for pity or looking for trouble or destructive behavior. I never allow anybody go through my shit container because that is when people can point their finger in your face and smear your mistakes in your face. It's mine, I carry it. What I found is that more you work on yourself, more you appreciate what has happened to you in the past. So you just reminisce and on beautiful and nostalgic moments. And all that ugly has been rediscovered, felt, and owned, and then you put it to sleep. Use your strength to build your future. The past, you can't rebuild it, but past is the foundation. It's the foundation of that building that you keep building up. So, thank you so much for watching. Until next time.